is the person who's helping with everything. So if anybody can't hear or if I need anything, I will be using the magic salute or something to get his attention. But thank you all for being here. So what do you say at this kind of gathering, right? The love, the bravery, the audacity of these two women have brought us all together tonight. Welcome and thank you for coming to celebrate, to share stories, and I really hope we hear a lot from everyone in the room. We'd love to hear memories and gratitude. Thank you for being a part of a network of loving communities. And for people who have come from out of town, thank you for traveling to Buffalo because Bobbi and Liz are part of the fabric of this place. Our communities have been built upon the work of so many, and this evening, as we remember Bobbi and Liz, we are keeping the legacy of these two lesbian women visible and central. We will not let our histories be erased, and I hope we can continue to listen to and learn from each other as we continue to build our connections. Our communities provide a place to feel loss, to remember joys, and to keep going. Let's comfort each other tonight. Let's treasure our connections and our humanity. Let's be in solidarity. Bobbi and Liz were our friends, our comrades, pranksters, hosts, colleagues, sisters, collaborators, troublemakers, leaders, ancestors, chosen family, and biological family. And because their passing is not the only loss that we have in our hearts tonight, I want to give everyone time to share the names of any other loved ones that you're thinking about, perhaps missing, anyone who's in the need of a little love. So feel free to share the names if you're comfortable with that. We could start over here. Any people or names to share? I'm sorry? Thank you. Madeline. Robbie Butler. Joanne Brenner. Bernie Hoppy. What was that? Thank you. Yeah, we have a lot of years in this room and a lot of loved ones. Yes, Penny? Betty Catalano. Oh. Thank you, everyone. Of course, this is one of the reasons that we're going to invite people up here to use this mic, because this one is really tuned in a way that it'll come out well in the videography, and also for people who are joining us today in live stream. Okay, and we can walk a mic over to you if that's better for you. Okay. Okay. So thank you for being here. One point of business, which is that everything is being videographed, it's being recorded, there'll be still photos taken There's going to be a recording by the UU available after tonight. So we're going to have all these resources going forward. So people will be able to have access to it, and if they weren't able to be here or watch right now. We've gotten a few questions about masking, and I want to just explain very quickly that we consciously came up with an accessibility plan. And that plan included masking, ASL interpretation, general information about doorways and elevators, bathrooms, live streaming. We are attempting to make the event a welcome place for more of us. The document that was written to outline all of this lets our community know up front what is available and what's not, because sometimes that's all people need to know. Am I going to be able to get in? Am I going to be able to use a bathroom? Will it be safe for me because I'm immunocompromised? And I just would like to suggest that we all think about having some kind of accessibility plan for our events, including letting people know if the space is accessible for them. I'd also like to say a special thanks to the UU Church for having us here tonight and for being such wonderful partners in giving us all the support that we needed. And I'm going to invite Kathleen up here so she can talk a little bit about the history of the relationship of the UU Church to the gay community.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kathleen McGriff-Powers. Is this too loud? I feel like I'm really loud. Should I stand back? Okay, good. The Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo, New York has a long history of supporting the LGBTQIA community. And this church has always been a welcoming congregation for as long as I have been a member here, and way before that. Some of the groups, two of the groups that I'm most familiar with were Interweave that met here. Also, the 30 Percenters, also known as the Married Lesbian Group, which I was a part of, which was before lesbians could get married. This was lesbians married to men that were trying to get out of their marriage with support. And also Collage, which was Children of Lesbian and Gays Everywhere, which some of you, your children may have been in it with my children, and marched in the Pride Parade. We were one of the first young groups of children. Those kids marched in that parade with the UUs in front of us and the Buffalo Bears and drag queens behind us. So the fact that this celebration of the lives of these two fabulous women is happening here just adds to the legacy of this place and the legacy of Buffalo, New York. And I'm so glad that all of you are here to help celebrate this and be a part of this. So thank you all very much.
My friend Susan Biller asked if there was going to be a dance after, because this was the place that the women got together to dance, and again, a very welcoming environment. Not many places would have welcomed us. What dances? I always have these joker friends. Okay, because Liz and Bobbi loved bringing us together with music, we thought we'd start tonight with Curtis Lovell, the artistic director of Ujima Company. Aren't we lucky? And this is so befitting because Liz and Bobbi were really long-term supporters of Ujima, and they worked with Lorna. So thank you, Curtis.
Hello. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. If you get to heaven before I do, coming for to carry me home. Tell all my friends I'm coming too. Coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low. If you get to heaven, home. Thank you.
So, like I said, this mic is the best mic we have. So I would encourage people who can and who want to come here and share stories. But we do have mics that we can, Renee's asking me to take my mask off. I'm going to start with a little bit about Liz, and then Adrian from the History Project's going to talk a little bit about Bobbi, and then Renee's going to talk about Liz and Bobbi together. And then we're going to open it up. So we're sort of just, this is like a warm-up. Okay. There are tissues, I believe. Okay. A tribute to Liz. It is not easy to lose a best friend of 50 years. Someone who taught me how to write a check and took me out to my first gay bar. Someone who knew the importance of a good bagel and a really good argument. Someone who loved a good sleepover and a good book recommendation. Liz was a guiding light for me, someone I could go to with any question, big or small, right up to the time that she was leaving us. And she would call me to reach out to see if I could make her laugh, because she needed to laugh at life's annoyances. I remember Liz holding Rafi in her arms when they were months home from the hospital. That picture is, engraved in my memory so well. And I remember Rafi calling me from Smith College to tell me how proud they were when the class they were taking assigned boots of leather, slippers of gold. That's my aunt, they crowed. When Renee and I celebrated our 10th anniversary, Liz and Bobbi wrote a poem song for us. I recently read this again. It was so sweet and funny, because Liz would always like to say the good things, but also say, but it wasn't all roses, so she'd always point out the little annoying things that we did to each other. But what really came flooding back to me was the type font on the poem. It was written on her typewriter. And I remember seeing her at that typewriter and then her computer, like a million times over 50 years. I'm sure I would have never gotten my PhD if it weren't for Liz's mentorship and her belief in me, if it weren't for the socialist feminist movement that we were all involved in. She also encouraged me to take the job at UB that I retired from. And every day I used the skills that I learned at Women's Studies to organize my work and communicate. Liz was so generous with us and our Rafi. When I walk around our house, I daily enjoy the many gifts our friends gave us, but most of all, they were generous with friendship. I wouldn't have known Angie and Charlie without Liz, or Sandy Zeig, or Margaret Randall, or Joan Nessel, and many of you in this room, if it wasn't for their work building their networks of friends and family. Honestly, my heart is breaking, and I already miss her, her imagination, and her positive vision for a future worth fighting for. Her silly phone messages, she never could just call once, she always had to call back 2 or 3 times. And her annoying homework assignments. And I'm not talking about when I was a college student. I'm talking about a month before she was ready to leave the planet, she was still telling me what I should be doing. So, Adrian.
that lives rent-free in my head. To a gay community blank. The sign that organizing was gender segregated.
There would be more New Year's Eve celebrations? Nope. More dinners and schmoozing? I knew you didn't either. Liz, kind of hanging out in the vestibule near your front door, just in case I had to make a run for it. And then, I saw you coming. Toward over the ring.
72, when I was a undergraduate college at UB, and served circle, and filling those seats, I see Val, back and arms. We all felt back and arms. Things
knew Bobbi when she was in her early 20s.
For that history, I was a grad student. I was working on my own, beginning to work on my own dissertation, and it gave me to lose her as a friend and mentor. I didn't have to worry. We kept in contact by phone, her annual visits back to Buffalo, and in later years through my visits to Arizona.
Many of you I don't know because I left here in 1970. I had already gone to Liz to ask her if she would sign as the faculty advisor for the daycare center, which she had done. In the meantime, I'd changed my graduate always.
So may all of you continue her work.
I first started to partner Rick, and had very
She wanted to go up.
In the story, not be going into the
idea of some for a patriarchal topic. And I remember just being a
family in New York City.